Hello everybody. Hey, welcome back to this YouTube channel on how to stop thinking. So why did you click on this? Do you experience too many thoughts? Is it the frequency, or is it the gravity? Do they really pull you? So what is wrong with your thinking? And why don't you like it? Do you feel like you have any control over this? These are the kind of questions you should be asking instead of how to stop thinking. How to stop your thoughts is a thought. So it's a thought about a thought, which gives you more thoughts. So why are you doing all of this? Do you remember a lighter time from when you were a child? You were being careless, carefree, and you felt just much more in tune with life. And is that what you're looking for? Well, this video is about how to unlearn your thought patterns. So how to become a child again in your mind. Could it be that you are actually trying to avoid something from yourself? And if so, are your thoughts escapism from how you actually feel? Do you ever allow yourself to feel yourself? Well, in order to answer all these questions and to get closer to having less thoughts, because I don't feel like you want to stop thinking at all. And I don't know if I ever want that. But the frequency would be, a lower frequency would be probably what you're looking for. Maybe 2 thoughts per minute. And in between those times of thinking, you have time to feel spacious and light. Then a thought can come up. So to stop thinking completely is probably not your goal. And if it was your goal to stop thinking completely, there is something you have to know about not being thinking for a while. Is you won't know that you exist anymore. So if you're willing to do that, you're going all the way. You become to the level of non-existence, where you don't give a shit about anything anymore. That's where it will come, and it sounds quite oppressive. I know. Many people tell me this. But it's really peaceful. It's full of love, understandings. It's actually really beautiful. It's just sometimes when you're gone, when you're not thinking for a while, probably when you lay down or something, everything just gets out and you experience your real being again. This is more like the questions that famous spiritual leaders ask you. Who are you? And you can only find that answer when you stop thinking completely. Or in between the thoughts as well. You have one thought, there's a pause, and there is another thought, and in between you were actually yourself. But you didn't know, because there are obviously illusions in this game of life. And we need to get rid of the illusions before you can really let go. The first illusion that I would like to talk about is free will. This is really a difficult one. But when you observe your will, is it really free? You want something, and then how free do you feel when you want something? I mean, if I want something, I don't feel free at all. So why would I want a free will? If I want something, that means obviously that I don't have it. Then the energy will be focusing on not having what I want, which will create more experiences of not having what I actually want. So how do I stop wanting things? How do I stop desiring things? do I now desire to not desire? To continue this, we have to unravel all the illusions about your thinking. Cause and effect. Do you ever think about that? This causes A causes B, a linear line, so you can feel guilt, figuring things out. This kind of linear thinking is an illusion too. The reality is that things just happen, without a free will, without a cause and effect. So our minds, who would like to make sense of everything, come up with stories, and we choose to believe it. But they are never true. Thoughts are never true. Like I can say, for example, that is a tree. But does the tree actually define itself by this pronunciation of tree? Or in Dutch, it's another language, boom, or German Baum. It has nothing to do with the real stuff. It's just labeling. And thoughts are quite delusional, because they can promise you things as well. For a lot of times when you don't feel pleasant in the present moment, probably because there is something in your body that you're avoiding, your thoughts can project a desire on the future, because you don't have it now. But the future, and this is a really big topic, actually it's really small, but for you to understand, and everybody, is that the future doesn't exist. Not in the form that we're actually thinking about it. If you accept your happiness to become after a future event, you'll start living in projects. But as I said before, every state of mind will create a similar state of mind. It's more like a spiral. So you create your happiness in the future. So your happiness will always stay in the future if you continue this road. So you will never have it. And another thing is, another illusion is, that you are a separate identity, that you need to become something. Because if you would find out who you are, you would see that you are everything already you were ever looking for. And it's unpronounceable, it's unthinkable. You cannot go there with thoughts, you can only be it. It is a presence, awareness, that is always in the background, watching live. And you are that. So when you are that, you have no reason to doubt anything anymore, to look for anything, to become anything. Naturally, when you are actually seeing that, your thoughts would decrease really fast. Because what is there to think about anyway? You are everything already. Stop it. Stop your thoughts about anything else. So you are actually choosing your thoughts because you are addicted to thinking. And it's a spiral, you know, more thinking creates more thinking, creates more thinking, creates frustration about thinking. It's thought about thoughts. And you're going down or up in the spiral, whatever way you would like to see it. So the only thing you could do is rehabilitation from thoughts. And this is actually not so hard to do. But before we go that way, I would like you to categorize your thoughts. And I've made 7 groups. And the question is, could you categorize every thought? Just like one of that, maybe another one of that. Just categorize all of them. The first group is thoughts about the future, usually having a desire in it. Second group is thoughts to categorize, making groups, making yourself a special group and comparing yourself with another group. In this way of thinking, you are going to create specialness and superiority. This is actually not a very useful thing to do, because when you stop thinking, you will see that you are everything. So there is no need to compare yourself with other fragments of yourself, because you are splitting up the moment you start comparing. The moment you start judging, you're splitting up from yourself, and you feel suddenly like you're in a hostile world. So that's the second group. The third group is thoughts to explain reality, which is also actually another form of categorizing, cause and effect. Fourth group is thoughts about thoughts, well, pretty useless as well. Then the fifth group is thought about something not being good enough, like yourself, like the here, the now. So you're actually complaining, not feeling worthy enough of yourself or the present moment. So why is that? Can't you see life for what it really is? Do you really need to escape this moment and yourself via thoughts? The sixth group is practical thoughts. Where's my other sock? Well, these questions are probably useful, but well, if your sock is already gone, so no need to think about it anymore. And seventh group is thoughts about what you actually would like to experience in life right now. Not tomorrow, but right now. What can you feel now, what you actually like to? Would you like to feel excitement and joy? How could you do it right now? This is actually the last group, and I think it's the only group that you should focus on. Would you like to feel happy? So how do you feel happy? Would you like to feel joy? So how do you feel joy? Can you be playful? When you really examine all these questions, and categories, you would see that you are everything already. Here is perfect, now is perfect, and the self is perfect. And a thought cannot live if you are believing that. Because a thought is always about something else, somewhere else, and you changing yourself. But I would like you to stop suppressing yourself, stop thinking that you're not good enough, and stop thinking that you have any influence in life. After you stop believing that you have any influence in life, you would see that you actually have some sort of influence, but it's really different than what you previously expected it, how it was. So you have influence by not having influence. By giving up your free will, you become free. Are you prepared to not have any desires anymore? Well, that's actually what here now self means. That you are everything already, so you don't have any desires. Then you will feel free, and then you will have everything you ever wanted, because you were already everything, always. Then you can do this, but there was still a reason that you were avoiding yourself. And that reason will show up immediately. Maybe not immediately. So what happens is you have used your body as a stockpile of negative emotions because you didn't want to experience the uncomfortable feelings that you were having. But although you might think that escapism by thoughts was a good way of avoiding these unpleasant feelings, actually you carry them along all the time. And they keep coming new ones and new ones. So in the end, there's like a lot of negative buildup in your body. And this needs to be released. So this is going to be released as well. And people hate me for this. When they come to me and they want to experience all of this, they stop after a while because they feel all these unpleasant emotions coming up through them, and then they continue in their old rhythm, what they're used of thinking. So this comes up, and you have to be careful about not stopping. Well, how do I say? About not continuing getting less involved with your thoughts. I always give people some exercises, what they need to do. Well, you don't really need to do anything in life because you're perfect. But for you to see it, the first exercise was to observe and categorize your thoughts. The second is a bit different. Can you lay down for a long period of time, maybe 10 minutes, 3 times a day, and completely body scan your body. And this is to make you feel uncomfortable because there are things in there you don't want to feel. They will need to be released in order for your mind to feel more silent. Because a mind is always trying to avoid unpleasant emotions because it learned that it was not valid to feel bad. But you're completely allowed to feel bad, just as much as you're allowed to feel good. By not allowing your bad feelings, you're also not allowing your good feelings. You become numb. You become thought addicted. Write down as well. This is the third exercise. To write down all your opinions about life. Do you have opinions about cars or other people or foreigners? Write them all down. But as well, at the same time, you look for reasons why they are not true. If you can't find a reason why they're not true, you're not looking hard enough. You can always ask me for help in the comments, but there is not any opinion that is true. So there is always a reason why it can't be true for you or for someone else. Is everybody having the same thought, the same opinion? If not, it's not true anyway. It's just a perspective. But why would you have that perspective? Because it's a thought. An opinion can only live in a thought. And we are here about getting less thoughts and not believing them. Then, of course, life is going to give you hard times. And assume when you feel uncomfortable, the pattern of thinking, how could this have happened, and theories, and if I can do this in the future, maybe I can avoid it, or maybe I can still repair it. Well, this will happen again. But now it is happening for like 30 several things, or 50 or 100 things that you're carrying. So they will still show up, but allow them. But don't believe them. And most of all, allow your feelings of uncomfortability, negative emotions. Allow them. Just watch them. You are not your feelings. You are not your body. You are not your mind. And if you are not your body, you don't have to feel bad when it's aging. If you're not your mind, you don't need to defend your thoughts and believe them. And if you're not your emotions, you can let go of them. Some people say like, I am like this and that. And that's actually not true as well. Like, if you say like, I am someone who's always, anyway, whatever you think about yourself is not true. It's probably true from a perspective of avoiding yourself. But that is just a perspective. Then the final exercise is, who are you? Can you really go as deep as possible? Who is the one observing your thoughts to be not pleasant? And if you observe your thoughts, how can you be your thoughts? Who is watching reality? And is this reality even real? So that is my video about how to stop thoughts. Before we end, you might ask yourself, am I thinking right now? The question is, the answer is yes. I have to think right now. I am thinking about not thinking in order for me to explain it. So right now I am thinking, but how did it happen for me to stop thinking? I actually realized today, 28th of May, exactly a year ago, that a thought is always wrong. And that happiness is experienced as soon as I stop believing my thoughts. And then, well, in the beginning there is still a pattern, you know, so you have to fall out of the pattern when you stop believing them. Stuff will come up, you will have to cry, you're trying to avoid them, but in the end, they will decrease to probably like 2 thoughts per minute, maybe 1, maybe sometimes you don't think for an hour and you're gone. Just, you have to be determined about not believing your thoughts. Yeah. As I'm hearing noise in the background, it's probably a sign that it's finished, the video. Please leave your comments, and good luck. Bye.